this week's video, I'll be talking about substrate that you can use for your leopard geckos, as well as each substrate's pros and cons. I don't own all of the different types of substrates, as I only really use EcoEarth, so this video will consist of images of the substrate and my voiceover. Firstly, I'll look at my favourite substrate, the one that I use for all my geckos and have done for the last 7 years. This is EcoEarth. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I mention it a lot. If you click on the picture, you'll be able to go to the video on how to use EcoEarth. The pros of EcoEarth. Well, EcoEarth is usually about £2 or £3 per brick, so it's really cheap. And if you have one gecko, you only need to use one brick a year. The bricks will expand when you add water, and they usually get to about 7 to 8 litres of dirt. And you only have to clean your gecko's vivarium once every 6 months, but you still have to remove any feces or dead crickets every few days. The EcoEarth also locks in heat, which will really benefit your gecko, and your geckos will love to dig in it. It also absorbs bad smells, and it is completely safe for your leopard geckos to eat, as sometimes they may scoop up substrate in their mouth whilst hunting. The cons of EcoEarth. There is a bit of a wood-like smell that can come with the EcoEarth. The smell either goes away once the EcoEarth dries out, or you get used to it. There's also sometimes very small bugs living in the EcoEarth. I'm not sure how they get there, or if they're supposed to be there, but all I know is they do not harm your geckos, although it would be very hard to get rid of them as they're tiny. Now for some other substrates that you can use. As I've never really used them, I can't provide a detailed pros and cons list, but from reading up about them, I will try to provide a sufficient amount of information about each one. So you can use sand, not children's playing sand or sand you get from the beach, but products such as repti-sand, which you can get in a range of colours. They will also encourage your geckos to dig, although I've read that geckos under the age of 5 should not be put on the sand. You can also get certain sands which are basically calcium. These also come in multiple colours. The only problem with these is that leopard geckos are usually in search of calcium, and if they eat too much calci sand, this can affect their digestive system. Other options for substrate include kitchen roll, newspaper and reptile carpet. The roll and the newspaper is probably best for baby geckos rather than adults. I found that when my baby gecko would go to the loo on the kitchen roll, you could tell straight away, because unlike EcoEarth, kitchen roll really doesn't absorb smell. So kitchen roll and newspaper would be best used as a short-term substrate, then move your gecko onto something else. I know a lot of people use reptile carpet, though geckos tend to like to dig and burrow into their hides, so when they can't do this, they can get frustrated and bite and scratch the carpet, and in some cases this can result in the loss of claws. Also, the carpet will need a good clean when it's been soiled. Overall, I would suggest EcoEarth above all substrates. I may be slightly biased, but I've never experienced a problem with my geckos using EcoEarth. I know someone commented on a video a while ago about how I'm killing my geckos using EcoEarth because they're not jungle animals. Well, 7 years later, my eldest gecko is still extremely healthy and I've never had to take her to the vet. She's also very active, she has a fat tail and she's a great hunter, so please only comment if you know what you're talking about. I've read in a few places on the internet and in respected leopard gecko books that sand can cause many digestive problems in your geckos, so I would suggest having a word with an experienced reptile vet or a leopard gecko breeder or carer before using sand. Don't be fooled by some reptile shops trying to sell you sand because it's more expensive and you'll have to keep buying more from them. But as I said before, I haven't had much experience with sand, so if you know a lot about the effects of sand on a leopard gecko, please leave a comment below and you can help us all out. Also, on a quick side note, I have now reached over 300 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you so much for watching my videos and subscribing. I've had some really lovely comments from some of my subscribers, and I know I promised Tristan that I'd mention him, so there you go. So thank you to you all, and next Friday I should be doing a video on what type of tank to use, the size, the make, etc. So tune in for that.